Hey guys, how's it going? This video is on the full moon we have in Scorpio on April 29th, 2018. And I'm doing this video in black and white to honor Scorpio, which tends to be about going into the darkness in order to find the light. So I'm honoring that theme with this filter. And I'm not even sure if I'll post this video. I feel like with this moon and the aspects lately to Pluto and Mars, which I've talked about a fair amount, there's a lot of transformation occurring, but it's so deep below the surface and happening so privately that the transformation can feel very private and very subtle and not entirely easy to talk about, because I think we're still really understanding the transformations that are coming through daily. I'm filming this on Saturday. The moon is actually coming in tomorrow. And there's something very witchy about this full moon. The feeling in the air definitely feels a little bit like Halloween. There's almost like this fall feeling, or the feeling you get during fall where the veils become very thin and kind of spooky, eerie. And, you know, this is something that we often get with Scorpio, because Scorpio is so mystical and it is about things that are unseen, you know, with the eyes, but more so felt and seen with our other metaphysical senses, subtle energies, and, you know, sensing things in our other ways. So I'm reading a book right now by Paul Foster Case, and he talks about meditation and how when we go into deep enough in our meditation and we go into that place of stillness and we get to that place where we realize that all thoughts and actions are actually stemming from one place, the one, God, creator, spirit, whatever you want to call it, and that everything we experience as our own personality is just extensions of that. And during meditation, when we go back, and we come back to our true source in that stillness, he talks about entering the no thing or nothingness, which we tend to think of as darkness. But when you're in that place, and I invite you to try it next time you are in a place of stillness and you have your eyes closed, he talks about it as the radiant darkness, because this place that at first might seem like nothingness or darkness is actually millions of little points of light. And I thought that went perfectly with this time, with the Pluto-Mars conjunction, which is about so much transformation and, you know, uncovering and shedding over and over and over again. It's about finding the radiance in the darkness and realizing that each time we uncover something that's uncomfortable within ourselves or confronting it in someone else, we are shedding layers and coming closer to our true self, which is radiant and only light. And it's just covered with these layers that we've adopted through experiences and from being hurt, and, you know, but at our core, we are divinely perfect, and we are, you know, light only. So yeah, this moon in Scorpio, just also speaking on how Scorpio is associated with darkness. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart, so I'm very familiar with scorpionic themes, and I've definitely been branded very scorpionic by a few people, particularly because my entire life I've always had this draw to very scorpionic things. I've always really liked dragons and scorpions and serpents and, you know, swords and all these kind of very scorpionic, dark themes. So I was meditating recently on the archetype Scorpio because I knew that this moon was coming, and just wanting to kind of explore for myself why Scorpio is associated with those things. And, you know, why are all my scorpionic friends obsessed with snakes and, you know, sharks and these kind of like animal archetypes that are thought to be kind of scary and venomous and predatory or whatever. And I came up with an answer that I wanted to share with you guys because I think that it helps shed some light on that scorpionic tendency, which I think is known but maybe not fully understood by everyone. So food for thought. My what I came to with it was Scorpio is about the deepest merging that we can have with another person, through a sexual experience, through orgasm where there is the loss of the ego, and for a brief moment we become one with everything, and a part of us actually literally dies in that moment, where we lose all form and we come into everything, or the nothingness, the radiant darkness, if you will. And because Scorpio understands this level of merging, which of course can lead to attachment, when you reach that level of intimacy with someone, you of course want to hang on to it. It also knows about the greatest loss, because nothing in life, in the human experience, tends to last. Everything transforms and everything falls away in order to transform and be reborn. So while Scorpio knows the deepest merging, it also knows the deepest loss. And Scorpio is somewhat traumatized by this, because Scorpio has the courage, if you will, to experience love to that level. They've also had to endure the pain of when that is taken away. And so Scorpio is a bit traumatized, I think, by this experience, and can live in fear that it could occur again, which is why Scorpio is associated with jealousy and secrets, because Scorpio doesn't want to be fooled, because it wants to fall so deeply. It must know everything if it's going to bear all, right? So with the archetypal snake or the scorpion, what do these things have in common? Well, these venomous creatures really wear their darkness on the outside. They don't hide it. With a scorpion, the stinger is right there. What you get, you know, what you see is what you get. With a snake, you've got the rattle. With a shark, it's very obvious. Like, all the darkness is right there on the surface, being exposed. So I think that Scorpio finds safety in having it all right there up front, because there's a trust there of saying, you know, if you're able to wear your darkness on the outside, I don't need to worry that perhaps what's on the inside isn't, you know, what I think it is. And I think we can all relate to that experience when we've met someone or entered a situation that appeared all light on the surface, but then after doing some digging, finding that the darkness was all hidden beneath. So Scorpio, I think, is drawn to these surface dark things because it feels that it can trust this expression of the truth. So how that relates to this moon is, I think we are doing some really deep digging into our own darkness and drawing to the surface things that are so deep. I mean, we're looking at aspects to Saturn. This is ancestry. This is stuff from our parents. This is long-standing wounds, and I think that we're bringing it to the surface to be worked through and also to be faced, to be really honest with ourselves about where we're at. Scorpio is also about power. So it's about looking at ourselves in a really authentic light and asking ourselves, have I been wielding my power in a way that's integral? Have I been completely authentic with this person? Is there a place that I've been secretive, maybe even from myself? Have I been honest with myself about the way I even really feel about this person? And if I haven't, why is that? Have I been afraid to be vulnerable? Have I done a good job at showing this person how I really feel? Did I fuck up? You know? And if you did, what are you going to do about it? I think it's a time when maybe it's time to reach out to a person that maybe you have something to say to and bear that radiant darkness and allow yourself to be seen in the light, even when it's scary. And because this moon makes aspects to Saturn and Pluto and Mars, all in Capricorn, there's an interesting relationship between Capricorn and Scorpio. And that is, or one of the ways, I think, is that Capricorn, because it's father time, the legacy, career, for a very present day word for it, but essentially the thing you were brought here to do, to leave your mark and share your special gift. I think a lot of us are thinking about what that even is and realizing that we can't commit ourselves to something unless we feel deeply committed to it, Scorpio. And when we're thinking about our legacy, that of course brings up time itself, as in a lifetime, which brings up death, Scorpio. What are we leaving behind? Time is happening. It's passing rather quickly. If you think back to yourself 5 years ago and what you were doing, that's a completely different person in a lot of ways. It's a completely different lifetime. And just thinking about what we're doing today, and is it really focused towards the thing that we want to carry us through, to leave our mark and to share our gifts, and realizing that we don't want to waste time. We don't want to waste time committing to something that isn't really supporting our true passions, and maybe finally being honest about what those even are. Yeah. And just to speak on the mystical aspect of things, I think there's so many people really awakening to their true power. And that's like so easy to say, and that's actually like a whole other video. But really honing in on the mystical experiences and what's happening, and you know, exploring our ability to truly step into the magic of being a human being, and realizing that being a human being is much more magical than we were led to believe. That's like a whole other video, so I think I'll stop here. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this full moon. I hope you guys do something special for it. I am going to take a night hike tonight with my friend Cooper, who is a very powerful, magical being, and I think we're just going to go out in the moonlight and call in some pretty awesome magic, some manifestation. Oh, and Beltane is Tuesday, which is like, it's the Celtic holiday for like the apex of spring and the most fertile time of the year. So in astrology, this is really the new year. So you can think of this moon as a time of shedding for that as well. And it's a very fertile time to plant seeds and new ideas, and kind of shed layers to, expose a new self. So yeah, happy full moon. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am available for readings right now. If you guys want to set one up, you can go ahead and email me. I'll put my email down below. Or you can find me on Instagram, Earth2Coyote, or Facebook, Coyote Star Astrology. Yeah, I will see you guys in the weekly forecast in a couple of days. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye, guys.